people anywhere who are in business today use the mail, whether it's part of their marketing program, part of their communication capabilities. From our perspective as account managers, sales specialists, you say, well, my goal is to increase revenue. How can I do that?
I went into the marketing department. It was a different and a change of pace and better pay. One of the things that the Postal Service does is they measure everything. Because they can measure mail, you know, how many letters they do per second per machine. And that mindset came over into the sales department. The Postal Service bought a program called Customer First, and they could manage and manipulate numbers for everything.
So you're going through all sorts of computer systems, scouring for money that the Postal Service already made and already got, and then get it associated with your account. All they cared about was the end big number.
It was a lot of work, many, many more hours than we got paid for. You're a salaried employee, but they expect you to work your 40 anyway, plus another 20, easy. And many times it was an 80-hour work week.
There was a mandate that you bring in $100,000 new revenue every month. Many of my colleagues were reporting 100,000, 500,000, 700,000, $1 million sales.
We started to create this, you know, the favoritism, better geographic territories, the better customers, all of the things that would make your job easier if you played the game.
And then when all the numbers came out, they said, well, how come New York stinks? Look at the rest of the country. Look what they're doing. We'll go, what are they doing? They're making up numbers. It's not real. And a lot of people made lots of money based on whatever that criteria was. And a lot of the people, like I'll say old post office, kind of like what I call myself, old post office, were going, this is ridiculous. What is all this nonsense? What is all this wasted activity? Well, some people didn't look at it that way. All they saw was a formula for them to get paid. And they immediately jumped in there and started doing that.
If you didn't bring in the numbers, your manager didn't get paid either. So your manager had a vested interest in getting you to write down what you needed to write down. I started getting in trouble. For the first time in my postal career, I started getting in trouble for not producing what they wanted. And it took me a while to pick up the tricks, how you were able to get the numbers that they expected. And little by little, I caught on. But after a while, it just felt wrong. And every time I talked about it, it's almost like I was growing enemies within. They didn't like the fact that I was bringing up stuff. It was dangerous.
And so some people would just outright avoid talking to me because they didn't want to be seen and get in trouble, because they would be quizzed or they would have extra duties.
When the vice president of sales came to New York because we weren't like falling into line, you know, I just went for it. I called him onto the side. I said, sir, I know for a fact that there are places where portfolios are being adjusted and manipulated so people become stars and other people become losers and are punished. He goes, I never promised you fair.